Okay, so you're grinding away, studying hours a day for the UCAT Quantitative Reasoning section. But your practice scores? They're just totally plateauing. Well, today we're going to fix that. Let's dive right into this explainer and completely power up your UCAT speed using some incredibly effective, time-saving hacks sourced directly from top test prep experts.
You're probably struggling with the extreme time pressure here, right? And honestly, who wouldn't be? I mean, you are staring down 36 questions in just 26 minutes. That is literally about 43 seconds per question. Most people think, oh, I just need to read faster. But actually, scratch that. Practicing harder the exact same way just isn't the answer.
So here is the uncomfortable truth. The secret to actually beating the clock, it's abandoning your mouse entirely. No, seriously. Every single time your hand leaves the keyboard to navigate the screen or click that clunky on-screen calculator, you are bleeding precious seconds. Our strategy today is simple. Drop the mouse and manipulate the math physically through your keyboard.
All right, Section 1, Keyboard Shortcuts Save Seconds. Think about it. Opening the calculator, clicking the digits with your mouse, and reading the result. That whole process can eat up to 15 seconds for just one calculation. That is way too slow. Instead, you want to strike Alt+C to instantly open or close the calculator. Oh, and make absolutely sure your numlock is on so you can just fire off those numbers rapidly using the dedicated number pad.
But we're not stopping at the calculator. You've got to memorize these essential shortcuts so you can skim, flag, and review without ever even touching that mouse. Alt+N jumps to the next question, Alt+P goes to the previous one, and Alt+F flags a question if you're stuck. Done with the section? Just hit Alt+V to pull up your flagged list in a flash. Quick aside, if you're practicing on a Mac, just use Control+Option instead of Alt to keep that rapid rhythm going.
Moving on to Section 2, the 10% anchor.
This next hack is a real game changer because it completely bypasses the calculator for your standard percentage questions. Instead of typing everything out, you're going to build almost any percentage mentally using a 10% base unit. It's just 3 simple steps. First, find 10% by just moving the decimal point one place to the left. Second, scale it up, like multiply by 3 to get 30%. And third, if you need a 5% chunk, just have your original 10% number. Let's put that into perspective. Imagine you need to find 35% of a 240-pound hospital budget. Well, 10% is 24. 30% is 24 times 3, so 72. And 5%? That's just half of 24, which is 12. Add 72 and 12, and boom, you instantly get 84 pounds. That's under 10 seconds, all in your head, and it totally dodges those common trap answers like 80 pounds, which students tend to pick when they panic and confuse 35% with 1/3. Now, of course, you can't do absolutely everything in your head. For percentage increases, decreases, or chain changes, you're going to want to use the multiplier method. The formula is straightforward. The new value equals the original value multiplied by 1 plus or minus the percentage as a decimal. So say you have a 20% increase on 150. That is simply 150 times 1.2. That's 2 super fast calculator inputs instead of 4 clunky, slow steps.
Section 3, Master Data Triage.
So tables and charts on the UCAT are literally designed to overwhelm you with visual noise. It's a trap. Using visual principles from Northern Illinois University, you need to mentally create an annotation spotlight. You aren't reading the whole table here, you are triaging it. You're looking for the exact intersection of data you actually need, like isolating just the staff and budget percentages for hospitals A and B and ignoring the rest of the spreadsheet.
To pull this off, you need a very specific triage checklist. Always read all 4 questions associated with the data source first. That builds your mental map. Next, double-check your units. Seriously, if a value is in thousands, it's 1,000 times larger than the raw number on screen, and missing that is a totally fatal, punishing error. Finally, verify if the chart is cumulative or absolute. You gotta know if you actually need to subtract to find the value for a specific period.
But here's the part most people get wrong. Right when you think you have all these math hacks nailed down, there is one more totally counterintuitive insight. Most candidates leave massive amounts of time on the table because they just don't know this final mathematical rule. Which brings us to Section 4, the percentage reciprocation secret. All right, this is the ultimate payoff. The rule states that X% of Y is exactly equal to Y% of X. This means you can flip any percentage calculation backward to get the exact same answer. Now, I know that sounds like, basic math trivia, but in a high-pressure, time-starved test like the UCAT, it is an absolute superpower.
Check this out. If a question asks you to find 4% of 75, calculating that mentally is just awkward, and opening the calculator wastes time. But if you flip it, the math essentially solves itself. 75% of 4, which is literally just 3/4 of 4, is instantly 3. You arrive at the exact same answer, but you save a massive amount of time.
Finally, Section 5. Master it with Applaa. Because look, knowing these hacks is really only half the battle. To truly level up, you need to relentlessly drill them until they become second nature. And that is exactly where Applaa comes in. It's this incredibly powerful learning hub featuring over 330 free AI tools right inside their desktop app. And the absolute best part? 0 subscription fees. Yep, it's completely free. With 53 specific tools just for math, 30 puzzles for logic conditioning, and full mock papers, it's basically the ultimate training ground to perfect your mental anchors and those data triage skills. You can drill percentage reciprocations and multiplier methods over and over, all without burning through your precious official UCAT practice materials. Plus, you can download it right now for both Windows and macOS.
So here is the final question you really need to ask yourself today. Are you going to let the clock defeat you? Or are you going to completely master the math? Stop letting the UCAT Quantitative Reasoning time trap hold you back. Start using your keyboard, flip your percentages, and download the Applaa app today to start engineering that perfect score. Use the tools, drill the methods, and go win.